Monzo has quickly gained reputation as the go-to banking app if you want a low fee situation if you're traveling abroad, or if you're new to the UK and other banks aren't really letting you be a customer. Since its beginning in around 2017, Monzo Bank has gained millions of customers and is widely recognized by its almost orange color debit cards that it gives out to its customers. I've been a customer with Monzo since 2018. However, recently I've realized that they also have an investing side of the whole Monzo business, and in this video I'm going to have a quick look into Monzo Investing and let you know my opinions on the platform, as well as setting it up as a complete beginner. I like to get straight into the app first, and then we can talk about the platform generally and the fees that are involved, which are, in my opinion, the make or break of any good investing platform. So as you can see, this is just my normal Monzo account. I have £1 left over from some holiday. I don't really use Monzo for my day-to-day banking. However, because their debit cards are based on MasterCard, I've used them throughout my travels and saved quite a bit on fees that you would otherwise have to pay from most UK banks, and even if you're using a credit card abroad. So prior to making this video, I actually tried to open a Monzo Invest account, and I was stuck for quite a while as I couldn't figure out where the Monzo Investing app was. I went into the Google Play Store. If you're on iOS, that's the App Store, and I just couldn't find Monzo Invest. Then I realized it's actually deep baked within this app, so it's not very intuitive to actually go into investments. So what you have to do is actually scroll down from the main screen of the Monzo Bank. As you can see, first you're going through the cashback, you have to keep scrolling, and then it's actually not very obvious, but you go to this card here which says make your money grow and grow, no trees needed for some reason. So anyway, press check it out here, and then you get a few more cards. So you can see 1 out of 4, growing all the time. You can read all this stuff. You can see that they also have a savings pot which gives you 4.1 annual equivalent rate. Also, if you are a Monzo Plus member, you can earn up to 4.6%. However, as a savvy investor, we know that money market funds and other bank accounts are actually paying higher than 4.6% at this given time. But anyway, on the 4th card, you will see that it says Monzo Invests, leave the hard work for us. So essentially what this is an investing platform which makes investing very, very simple, as there is only 3 choices. Things like Trading 212 or any other platform have thousands of choices and an unlimited amount of combinations, making it very difficult for beginners to actually get into investing. Apps like this come along where you already have the app installed, you're already using the banking platform such as Monzo, and they aim to simplify investing as you're going to have money in that account anyway. If you want to grow your wealth over the long term and lock your money up, you can easily move this money into your investment portfolio and begin your investing journey. So what you have to do now, kind of like an Easter egg, is that you press go to investments. So once you press that, you get a new menu called savings and investments, and you can see a bit about what Monzo Invest is really about. So here it says invest with us. There is no expertise needed. Unfortunately, there are too many people within the UK or even the whole world who are not investing, as they are not really aware of what investing is and they don't really understand the risks involved. Monzo aims to actually simplify that with no expertise needed, and they'll handle everything on their end. The other thing with Monzo Invest is that you can learn at your own pace, and the fees are completely transparent and they are disclosed before you actually start investing. The other plus about Monzo is that they offer a stocks and shares ISA, something that a lot of providers still fail to do. In addition, we already know that Monzo is FCA regulated, of course, as it is a bank based in the UK. Also, it has the FSCS protection of up to £85,000 per account. Naturally, being a bank, there's no worry that all of our money will be lost in case of an emergency that happens to Monzo Bank. So what I also like is that you can actually project how much you could expect to earn through your investments. So as you can see, if I put in a monthly deposit of £100, you can see that within around 25 years, you can be projected to have amassed a fortune of £51,371. Now, these projections are based on past performance. And of course, whenever you're investing, capital is always at risk, and past performance is no indicator for future performance, in the same vein that our future performance could be a lot higher than our previous performance. But anyway, you can change the amount of monthly deposits. For example, as little as £20. You can see that in 25 years, if you deposit £20 per month, you could be expected to have around £10,000. Of course, if you put £2,000 a month, you can be projected to be a millionaire in 25 years. This is all based on their projections, and I do think they are being quite conservative with this, which I like, because £2,000 a month for 25 years, I would personally project to be a bit higher. So I'm not sure what they're basing their annual rate on, but it's not too crazy like I've seen with some other investment providers. So one positive thing about this is that it makes it very easy for beginners to get into investing. I like the fact that I do have these cards here which you can learn more about investing. For example, saving versus investing. If you open it up, there's a nice 2-minute lesson on the difference between saving and investing. I'm not going to go through it completely, but you can see they're very nice cards here. It looks like you're teaching a 5-year-old. But anyway, it's very easy for anyone to just pick this app up and get into investing, which I really like. You can also learn more about investing through Learn About Investing here. So for example, it is the same thing that we saw just before, but they are put into kind of like lessons or modules, and you can learn more about investing. I recommend before you start investing to read up on how risk and returns work, because I think this is a fundamental part of investing and why too many people compare savings in a bank account compared to investing, which of course has a much higher risk but also much higher potential return. Anyway, I want to start investing, so what I need to do now is to press start investing. A few things to check before we get started. So what you do here is double check the details they have on the system. This is because when you're investing, they'll need your national insurance number and a few other things for tax purposes. So here you insert your national insurance number, which I'm not going to show you. And then they have a section here in which you have to explain how you intend to spend and save your money, just so they're not getting people into investing who really cannot afford to invest. Like I always say, investing is for the long term. If you need the money in the short term, we're talking about anything less than 10 years, please don't invest, as the stock market is highly volatile, meaning you can typically lose 50% of your entire amount that you put in within a few months when a market crash happens. Of course, that number could be higher or less depending on the circumstances. So again, it's going to quickly give you a quiz over your finances. Are you relying on short-term borrowing? Of course, I am not. Do you have enough to set aside for emergencies? If you're a beginner investor, please fill this in truthfully and don't just watch these videos and think these are the right answers in order to create your Monzo account. So what I'm immediately liking about Monzo is it doesn't force anyone into investing. It's telling you to build up your safety net first, also known as an emergency fund. I personally already have a 6-month emergency fund. If all else fails, then I'll be able to sustain myself for at least 6 months. So I highly recommend that before you start investing. But anyway, I'm going to press continue with investments. So okay, let's open our pot here, press next. So the first thing to do is to choose our account type. Like I said, Monzo offers a stocks and shares ISA. However, I just want a general investment account as I've already maxed out my £20,000 per year allowance with another provider. Plus, I'm not really seeking to invest in Monzo Invest, and we'll come back to that later. So open a general investment account. If you're new to investing, please do some more research as to what account is best for you. So I'm going to pick investments just for the sake of investments, although you can have other goals such as retirement, children's future, and career break. And I'm going to press continue here. So essentially what Monzo Investment is are 3 funds that are managed by so-called experts. Here explains more about it. So investment experts, they manage your money. So they've teamed up with BlackRock, which is one of the largest wealth providers in the world. They own companies like iShares. They hold trillions and trillions of dollars worth of investments, up there with Vanguard, if not a bit bigger. So here it says they are investment pros, BlackRock being one of the world's largest fund managers. So how do Monzo Invest choose their funds? So the funds that they actually offer to Monzo customers are diversified, meaning if one thing goes down, it doesn't really bring everything else down. We know that from history, if you have a well diversified in terms of geographic location and also different sectors, then in the long term, your risk actually goes down. Also, we know that the stock market as a whole always tends to go up. If you're well diversified and you have a low risk index, then chances are you're going to just keep continuing to grow your wealth regardless of where the market is heading over the long term. Furthermore, Monzo invests in funds from BlackRock, which has some sort of ESG values, so environmental, social, and governance, meaning that they aim to be a bit more environmentally friendly than other funds. So it's very non-specific here. My guess is your guess, but I'm guessing from what they said, they have somewhat of a focus towards ESG. So there are 3 funds to choose from. There's Careful, Balanced, and Adventurous. I'm going to go through all 3. The Careful fund is if you don't want to take too much risk. Remember, with investing, capital is always at risk, regardless of if they're saying it is a careful, balanced, or adventurous portfolio. There's a balanced portfolio too. This is for people who are comfortable with taking a bit more risk. And of course, with a bit more risk, there comes a bit more potential reward. The third is adventurous. And if you're happy taking a higher risk, a higher risk generally means there is more fluctuation, so there is more volatility within these portfolios. It can go up more than the others, but it can also go down more. I'm going to choose adventurous because I am a very adventurous person. Click adventurous here, and here we see the projections change when we actually go into adventurous. For example, our £2,000 per month could be projected at £340,000 in just 10 years. So if I go back to careful here, you can see our £2,000 a month is now only projected to make £263,000 in 10 years. Go back to adventurous. Of course, I am not going to be investing £2,000 per month into this Monzo account, but for example, you can see £1 per month is £12 deposited per year, and in 10 years you can have a projected portfolio of around £170. So that's £120 of deposits and around £50 of actual interest. Of course, when you invest more, it scales up more. £2,000 per month, you could potentially have a portfolio size of £340,000 in just 10 years. Okay, now this is where the most important bit comes in. There is a fee that is attached to actually investing with Monzo Invest. So here you can see you'll be paying 0.14% in fees that go directly to BlackRock, and a 0.45% platform fee which goes to Monzo. You can see that you'll be paying two fees. The fees are the total percentage of whatever you have within your investment. Their fee is 0.45%, which is equivalent to a monthly cost of 36 pence if you have £1,000 invested, and then the fee to BlackRock, which is essentially a total expense ratio, is 0.14%. Now this is where the most important part for me personally is. I think these fees are way too high. If you invest in a similar portfolio, you can just pay the total expense ratio. Now, I don't personally know what the holdings Monzo has, but as a more experienced investor, I know that I could create my own portfolio on something like InvestEngine and have no platform fees and pay a much lower total expense ratio. I could probably get the same exact fund for no less than 0.2% as a total expense ratio. Essentially, these fees don't seem like a lot, but the larger your portfolio gets, you're going to start to realize that 0.59% of your total gain is a whole lot to be paying. And that is where I become hesitant in actually recommending Monzo Invest. Now, if I am happy with the fees, I can just press next here. And what you first need to do is to open your investment pot. So here are details about the investment. So this opens a PDF in which we can actually look at the funds that we are investing into. So voila, here we go. Just as I expected, the key investor information pack actually gives us a look into what Monzo are essentially investing into on your behalf and charging a 0.45% platform fee. So here is my map 7 Select ESG fund. Like I said before, I had a strong suspicion this was an ESG focused fund, and it is within the fund's name that it is ESG, so that's environmental, social and governance. You can see the risk profile is 6, which is akin to most ETFs such as the S&P 500. You can see here the total expense ratio or the ongoing charges is 0.14%, which is higher than I'd like for a single fund like this. There isn't much information about the individual stocks that goes on in this fund, but I didn't really expect Monzo to disclose that anyway. But anyway, if you want to read what the funds are, you can do that in your own time, but essentially this fund focuses on ESG, and I'm pretty sure someone online can find out exactly what this fund constitutes of. They can make their own fund for a lot less than what Monzo are charging for this investment. So anyway, let's continue and press accept and create pot. Here we go. Funding your account is as simple as having money in your Monzo personal account. So let's actually put all that money into use and see if we can invest with just £1. So I want to set off regular investing because, as you know by now, the fees are too high for me to recommend for myself. So I won't be investing in here. So I will switch off regular investing and press next. So there we go. Congratulations, I've made my first investment. You've done it. You've taken the first step to helping your money grow over the long term. So now let your money do its thing. Very nice and fun graphic here. Press done. So essentially this is my Monzo portfolio. This is what you came here for. A first look into the Monzo app. I've actually not done any of this before, so this is my first look at it. I've not even seen it online. As you can see, I was able to put in just £1 and 2 pence, which is great because if you have very small amounts in your bank account, maybe instead of spending on something you didn't need, you set aside for investments. So Monzo Invest actually does look very different from all the other providers I'm used to. It has a nice little graph here, which is quite fun. From first glance, it doesn't really have any time intervals that can change. Usually there is a day, week, month, year, and 5 years. However, this might change as, you know, I just opened my account, so more days pass, more weeks pass, maybe you'll be able to change that. But as of right now, I can't really change anything here. If I hold on to it, it does a nice vibration thing, and I can actually see on the 27th of December, I had nothing. Today, I have £1 and 2 pence of my total portfolio. Here is my general investment account, and here I can go into my investments. So if I click here, you can see that I have £1 and 2 pence here, and it is up 0 pence since investing. If I did want to withdraw it, they'll ask why you want to withdraw. You can press next. They kind of don't want you to withdraw, so you have 2 screens before that. But anyway, if I want to withdraw here, I can actually withdraw my complete amount and there shouldn't be any withdrawal fees, which is really good to see. But anyway, I don't want to withdraw. I'll just keep the money in there. But yes, if you scroll down, you can see the fund that I'm invested into, which is the Adventurous Fund. You can find out here what the fund invests in. You can see that as expected, it is 100% shares and not bonds, as it is more high risk. Here there is a bit more details about what the fund holds. So this fund is a very big fund. It invests in around another 30 funds and has over 45,000 assets. So it's very well diversified, but sometimes you can be too well diversified and the rewards that you get aren't going to be too high. But anyway, in terms of geographical exposure, we have 55% North America, 27% Europe, and 15.8% Asia. This looks like a pretty well diversified global fund with 55% in North America. Most of that will be the United States of America. Most global funds have a 60 to 65% allocation of the US. So it's actually nice to see that this is a bit less at 55%. The S&P 500 might not continue to make the gains that we have been seeing over the past few decades and even centuries. So it's actually a very good idea to actually diversify, especially in Asia, the rest of the world, emerging markets, as they should be seeing more growth compared to established economies such as the United States of America. So if I wanted to, I can close the investment pot. If you have money already in your Monzo account and you want to try out investing, then you can try out Monzo Invest. And the best thing about Monzo Invest is that you don't really have to think about it. For the long term, you can put your money in that you already have within your Monzo account. Very easy to set up. Only 3 choices to make. So that's the low risk, medium risk, and high risk. However, to my viewers, most of you will not be investing with Monzo. Most of you won't be investing with Monzo because of their high fees. Platforms like Trading212 and InvestEngine have no platform fees. So I would, for the most part, recommend those platforms instead, as over the long term, if you start investing with Monzo, that high platform fee is going to start eating into your returns. And that's not something that we want to do. It's almost like a tax that you have to pay just for investing. For that reason, I find it quite difficult to personally recommend Monzo Invest. However, for those people who already have Monzo or are very scared about the risks associated with investing with Monzo gives you that peace of mind knowing that all of the funds that they actually allow you to invest in are very well diversified, or at least they appear so. And you don't really have to think much. You can set up a recurring payment from your main Monzo account and everything just happens automatically. So make sure to check out some of my other videos and I'll see you in the next video.